everybody, this is Dan for Gaming D on Cars, and what do we have today is a Tesla Model 3. I have friends who just took delivery of this car on Tuesday, and they are kind enough to let me take a look at it. Now, today we're going to look at the inside, the outside, all the technology, and we're going to find out if it was worth having thousands of people stand in line and put down $1,000 to someday get this car within the next 2 years. So let's check it out. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to get into the car. Now, people with the iPhone app of Tesla, you can turn the car on, you can do a whole bunch of different stuff with the car, but since this is not my car, I have this Tesla key card. And if you walk up to the car and put the thing here, the mirrors will fold out and you can get right into the car. All I need is this little key card. One thing that's awesome about this car, with all the technology, like the key, you don't need a key anymore. I mean, all you need is your phone, and we take our phones with us everywhere. So it's just something that makes Tesla set apart from everybody else. So that is how you get into the car. Alright, so first up we're going to talk about the styling of this car. Now, is definitely nothing else on the road looks like this. We've got cameras everywhere. You got a camera here on the door. I'm assuming to look this way for traffic and for the autopilot. Look at these crazy door handles. You push on this and pull on that, it comes right out. This car obviously in the black color. I think it looks really good in the red and the silver too. But look at the wheels. These are called the Aero wheels, and they are 18-inch. I think this is the standard Model 3. Now this car starts at $35,000, but if you pay $9,000 more, you get the bigger battery and more features and more performance. But this is just the base one. My buddies Mike and Colleen just got this on Tuesday in Pittsburgh, but they were coming out here for a softball game, so we had to come take a look. But it is definitely a striking car. Yeah, so this is the charging port. All you do is press on it and it pops up. Now, if you approach the car with the charging port in your hand, I think there's a button on that, and it'll automatically open for you. Now, obviously, we don't have the charger here, but yeah, you just press on it. That goes back. Now, this car is a traditional sedan, but it kind of looks like a hatchback as far as the, lines go in the back. All right, so Jason is opening up the hatch, and it's kind of funky looking because so much of the trunk is attached to the bodywork. Like, that doesn't happen in all cars, but we've got some stuff in here. But the trunk is pretty big. Now, one thing that is a weird feature is up here in the top of the glass, there's like kind of like a see-through window. Like if I put my hand, yeah, you can clearly see my hand like inside the car. And I don't know if that's for airflow of some sort, but it's funky, and I don't think any other car has that.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting design.
Yeah. Now has the typical sort of Tesla design taillights, which I think look pretty good.
Great exhaust.
Yeah, the exhaust really sounds good. This thing really opens up, but it really looks like nothing else on the road. I mean, it's got the same footprint as like a C-Class Mercedes as far as wheelbase, and it doesn't look like a huge car, kind of like the Model S is. Like the Model S is a big car, but I think they really knocked it out of the park with the design. Now, one complaint that people have had with previous Teslas is that the fitment of the panel gaps and the don't line up, but I don't see anything like that. I mean, the one car I saw had this door was like a hair higher than the other, but I don't really see any of that issue in this car. Obviously there's another camera right there in the side, but yeah, it's a really good looking car.
It's crazy how short the overhangs are on the front and back. Those are pushed to the very corners,
right,
like a go-kart.
Now, I guess maybe the most distinctive part of design of this car is the front end, because it does not have a grille. I mean, being an electric car, you don't need the airflow, but it's such a distinctive look. I really like the redesigned look of the Model S that didn't have sort of like the big sort of, I don't know, oval looking thing on the grills, but it just looks like nothing else on the road. The headlights are kind of like an evolution of the Tesla design, but it looks really good. I mean, it's kind of dirty. They just traveled on the turnpike. Just got it not even a week ago. But yeah, I think one other thing is that this wiper was so short compared to the other one. I don't know if I think when you're driving, you can have the wiper blades tucked down a little bit and improve the airflow on the front of the car. But yeah, let's try to open up the front trunk, the frunk, if you will. So Jason is going into this controls.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so he hit the P button, or he hit the open, and we're gonna open up this bad boy. Tesla, perfect space for cupcakes.
I think it was 3 cubic feet in the frunk and 12 in the trunk.
Yeah, so already putting it to good use. We've got cupcakes, we've got stuff, hair dryers. So yeah, it's practical. I guess that's another thing we can take away from this car, that it is practical with the back trunk and the frunk here. Now, I saw this is interesting. If there's an emergency with this car, they will actually tell you where to cut in the frunk here to sort of disable the battery, because I know if there's like an electrical fire with this car, because it's all batteries, like the fire is sort of out of control. I mean, there's been a couple cars that have had this issue, and you got to get to it quickly or else the thing is going to go up like crazy. But yeah, look at these little spaces here in the hood, or the hood of the frunk. But yeah,
and 1 reservoir for the washer fluid.
Yeah, we don't need to put any oil in here. So, all right, Jason, you want to close the trunk and we'll go take a look at the inside of the Model 3. One thing to note on the outside of this car, it does not say Model 3 anywhere. I mean, you have the Tesla badges on the front and back, but the only place that it says Model 3 is right here on the door sill. So it's kind of, if you're buying this car, you know what it is. You don't need to be shouty and say Model 3 this, Model 3 that. So let's take a look at the inside. So as you can see, this is where the radical design comes into play. This is the most minimalistic and Spartan interior of any car I think that has ever been on sale.
Yeah, it's almost like a concept car that came to production.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think this is a 15-inch screen where you control everything. Now these 2 little buttons on the side of the car control, I think, the volume and the mirrors here, and how up and down the steering wheel goes, and telescoping. But I mean, it is just absolutely insane. Now, I drove this car for about 2 minutes from over here in the softball fields over to here, and I like how they put your miles per hour here in the top corner of the screen, because you know we're so used to gauges in front of you, but I don't think it would take that long to get used to. I mean, it's such a big screen that is always in your field of view, you know, right in front of you, but there's nothing. I mean, there's 2 big storage things that are super
pretty deep.
Yeah, and I know they close with magnets, but
and this drive shaft underneath.
This one, check this out. There's a little thing where you can plug in your phone. And I think if you lift this up, I don't know if it comes with these 2 cords. Like, I know this is an iPhone hookup right here, and probably that's an Android, but you can put your phone here while you're driving. This little window goes straight up. So if Jason plugs in his phone,
get it lined up here.
I mean, that's incredible.
So it's charging.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. I honestly, I don't think this is the greatest looking steering wheel, but it feels nice.
Looks pretty thick, pretty beefy.
Yeah, it's definitely thick. I don't know. I feel like
it looks small, but
yeah, I think they could have maybe done a little bit better job.
Of a flat bottom there.
Yeah, but another thing that's crazy about this interior, this is the door handle here. Now, if the battery were to run out, there is an actual manual latch here, but they say that you're not supposed to use that very much, because it'll give you a little warning on the screen to say, like, you know, I don't know if it says don't use that much, or maybe it just questions why you're using that so much. So the next thing we need to address is that there are no vents like we're used to in the car. And the reason for that, this whole area is the vent right here behind the screen the whole way, but it's the first vent. Now behind the wood here, this shoots air up too, and that controls whether the air goes up or down or to your feet. I mean, that is just insane.
So yeah, it kind of directs the horizontal flow with this one. You got the bleeder vent and then the wave vent.
Yeah, I mean, that is just insane.
So if you want this to shoot up higher, it'll shoot more out here to kind of direct it up. And then you can kind of direct it down as well.
Yeah, I guess it kind of meets it to form like a slipstream.
Did you see that, Tim? That split the airflow. It kind of
if I go up to the left here, I think you can do it dual or not. But so this is shooting the air up this way.
Yeah, I can feel it going to the left there.
I mean, that is insane. So Jason could have the air going down and to the left, and I can have the air going up and to the right. I just felt it right here.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of feel it lower.
This is where Tesla really sets itself apart with the technological parts, because we know the type of company they are. But I mean, this is just, it is just unlike anything we've ever seen. I keep saying that. So
the roof here, I mean,
yeah, if we go up, this whole thing is a panoramic roof, and there's not even a like top of the roof back there. It's just one continual piece of glass. And I think the designers of Tesla had a tough job, you know, designing this glass, because it's two giant pieces of glass. I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, while keeping the safety aspect there for rollovers and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, I mean, already I'm blown away by the inside. I think the outside, the looks are really good. It's not the best looking car, but I think it's definitely futuristic looking, with the front without the grille and the shape of the taillights. I mean, excuse me, the headlights. But it is just insane.
Rear view mirror is a little small, but I can notice that.
It's like
I mean, there's so much other visibility around. I mean, you have a 360-degree view, obviously with the cameras and the autopilot and stuff, but even the windows alone, there's not many blind spots.
No. All right, so let's take a look at this screen a little bit. So everything is monitored here, and you start with the car. I think this is this screen, which has what gear you're in, and this is the gear shifter right here. I mean, just push it down into D. But you got music. I think you hook your phone up. Yeah, it says phone not connected because mine is not. You've got your heat seat right here. I think you push it and it goes down. Your controls for the temperature and the fan. Jason's heat seat, front defroster, rear defroster, and your volume of the music. So let's take a look as the air is going. Okay, let's take a look at the map. Now, if I get rid of, all right, if I hit the music button, this will go down to my map. Now, I know the responsiveness of this screen is insane. I mean, look at that.
It's pretty much like an iPhone. I mean, that quick response.
Yeah, I mean, it's, all right, if I go faster, I mean, it is going every single way that I want it to go.
No lag at all.
Not at all. I mean, it honestly, this looks like a giant iPad, and it feels like, you know, like an iPad or a phone. So this is just insane. I mean, if I snap out to show all of Pennsylvania, I mean, look at that. That is so quick. That's impressive.
Yeah, I know a lot of car manufacturers struggle with that, with their infotainment systems.
Right. Like some cars, if you pinch in, you'll get the little boxes where it's loading. But this is just insane. I'm gonna keep saying that, but just this is no other car I've ever been in is like this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go take a look in the back seat now. All right, so we're in the back seat, and I just made a comment that it's so crazy that I can have the air running at 63 degrees up there on the screen, and I can feel it back here. So I had the seat where I was sitting, and I honestly don't have the most space, but this is pretty good for a mid-size sedan. If you're comparing this to like a Mercedes C-Class or a BMW 3 Series, this I'm guarantee you will be bigger. And I feel like that's part because the wheels are so pushed back to the corner that it gives you a little bit more space back here. But this is nice, right?
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Like, I mean, it looks like you have some headroom. You're a little taller than me.
I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. I got a couple inches here with my hat on.
I got the width and depth, and I mean, I don't know if we could maybe get a child in between us. But
yeah. So this is, I mean, if you're buying a car like this, you obviously care about the technology, but most likely you have a couple kids as well that you're going to put in the back seat. So we've got the front and rear trunk space. You've got decent space back here. All the technology up front. That's a winner in my book.
Yeah, I think so. The back window is crazy.
Yeah, it is just so big.
Up, just one piece.
Got a couple little dome lights right here. Yeah, I think that you can hang up your suit here. So yeah, this is wild. All right, let's get this thing on the road and see what it's like to drive. All right, so we're driving the Model 3 now. One thing we just noticed, it's just absolute quiet, which we're really not used to. The steering feels nice. There's a thing on the screen where I'm in standard steering mode. If I switch it on to sport, it just feels like it tightens up a little bit, which is nice. I mean, this is not meant to be an all-out sports car, but you could chew up the miles very easily in this. I feel like I'm used to like the screen being over here and my MPH right here. I mean, in my car, I have a little heads-up display, but this is only a couple inches out of your field of view. I mean, if I'm looking straight ahead, I can still see that 49 in my peripheral vision. But yeah, it's just different because it's absolutely quiet. Yeah, this is nice to drive. The seats feel comfortable. It's got lumbar support. I think I just changed the way the seat, and it has what Colleen I think was programmed to. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I'm used to the inside already, and it's been about 10 minutes. So this is incredible. I mean, I'm not used to there being nothing around. I mean, I've got four buttons for the window and a big screen. That's about it.
There's definitely, yeah, just the window button, and to the door latch is a button. So.
Now, when I'm stopped here, this car is showing me that there is one car ahead of me, which there is. Now, we were at a stoplight before, and it showed that there was 2 cars ahead of us because there were. I mean, that is just insane. The work that the cameras are having to do in front of us has got to be putting in the work. Just so much technology to show that there are cars in front of us.
Yeah, and to show the actual spacing too. Like that car pulled away a little bit. You know, it's probably 3 car lengths ahead, and you can kind of see it there.
I can still see him. Now, this car does not have the autopilot feature, so we're not going to get a chance to try that out. I think the owner of this car doesn't necessarily want it, which is okay. I mean, it's technology that's not perfect yet, so I'm sure with an upgrade you can get that feature. And there's people looking at me. I'm not used to people looking at me in a car. I mean, this is one of the hottest cars that is out. That lady just gave us a smile.
Yeah, she gave us the smile, little wave.
Yeah, so we're definitely not used to that.
It's definitely the drawing the attention.
Yeah. Now, if you hit the Tesla logo here on the screen, it goes into the car features. Now, this car has 537 miles, but there's some Easter eggs here on the screen. If I type this, look, I wrote that on the screen. I mean, what? No other car has that. That's awesome. That is just simply awesome.
Yeah, like a Microsoft Paint feature or something.
Yeah.
And apparently you can publish it as well.
Yeah, you can go
email it to yourself.
Yeah, that is just awesome. This is like one of the most connected cars I think there is.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so we're getting on the highway. I'm gonna do a little acceleration test and see what she's got. Now these cars have the equivalent of like 258 to 270 horsepower with I forget what the kilowatt hours is. All right, not yet. All right, here we go. Holy shit!
Definitely is instant torque.
Wow.
That definitely throws you back a little bit.
Wow, that was impressive. That was pretty fast.
And you could hear a slight hum, but it was still very quiet.
Yeah. Wow. But, alright, so when I let off the brake, the regenerative braking is a little bit less as you're going faster. But alright, I'm gonna go down to 60 miles an hour. Alright, there's a car behind me, so I'm not trying to hold him up. Alright, if I'm at 65 and you punch it,
that torque, it's like a rocket ship.
it puts you back in your seat.
It does.
Oh my gosh.
And it's instant too, as soon as you tap that accelerator.
That's the best thing about the electric feature. It's 100% of the torque and power at once.
Direct drive, no power loss.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever drive another car where my name is on the screen in front of me. Oh my gosh. It's so different because you don't hear anything, and it's just a pleasant drive. You can definitely hear the wind noise, but it's not like it's too loud. It just feels nice. This is incredible. If this is the future of cars, then we're in good hands. Now, it remains to be seen whether Tesla is going to survive. It's so crazy to think that a car company that can make this caliber of car, which is incredible, may not survive the next few years. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, Elon Musk does appear to be, behind Tesla. Obviously, he's the CEO, but he just bought $10 million worth of shares last week. So,
wow. I hope he has faith in the company.
Yeah, I think so.
one thing we need to discuss is how people have range anxiety, they call it. I mean, I don't know how the network is as far as places where you can charge this car. Now this car, I think you can get up to 220 miles of range, and if you have the bigger battery, you can get up to, I think it's 310 miles, and 300 miles is a lot of miles to go, where you could sort of plan out where you want to go. But I don't know how good the charging grid is for Teslas. It's definitely something, if you were looking at a car like this, you'd have to sort of plan it out. You know, if we live in Mechanicsburg, we'd have to see where places are around that you could charge this car, because it's not like gas stations are every mile away. I mean, you really had to plan out where you're going to charge this car.
Right. Yeah, one advantage is if you could have like a little Tesla battery home unit in your garage, you could just charge it up every night. Right. But I know that's an extra cost.
Which could be worth it, but I don't know as far as how long it takes to charge it up. And,
right.
But that is honestly the only negative I can think for this car. You've got the styling, the technology. This has got to be one of the most technologically advanced cars on the market. You've got the styling on the interior, which is like nothing else. Tesla, I think, has hit it out of the park with this car. Alright, so we're going to test out the rear camera. So look at how big that screen is. And the graphics are look pretty good. If I go around, yeah.
It's pretty snappy, yeah.
Wow. That is insane. It's so big. Now I think, look over here, if I start to get close to the curb, it'll tell me. Let's see if it tells me. Yeah, 33 inches, 32 inches, 30. That is awesome.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Wow. So that's another cool feature of the Model 3. Look at when that truck went by, it just looks so clear.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get
It's almost like an HD camera.
Yeah, let's see if we can get another car to come back so we can see on the screen. Flew by back there. Alright, here comes a car.
There it is.
Look at that. Nice. That's awesome.
It's pretty smooth.
Alright, so this is going to wrap up my time with the Tesla Model 3. I'm blown away. I mean, it is impressive. You've got the technology, the interesting styling, you know, the support system and all the cool stuff that Tesla does. This is just one of the nicest cars I've ever driven. Thanks to Mike and Colleen for letting us take a look at your car. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.